World of Darkness, Tucson. Kindred society was never united. It only pretended to be. Beneath the desert heat, beneath the neon, beneath the churches, nightclubs, hospitals, courtrooms, and gated estates of Tucson, monsters moved in silence. They wore perfume and politics. They spoke in laws, favors, debts, and threats. They kissed like lovers and ruled like executioners. Power was everything. Alliances shifted like smoke, and every faction believed the city should belong to them. The Camarilla held the highest towers and the oldest traditions. They were old, powerful, organized. They believed in structure, hierarchy, silence, and the sacred lie called the masquerade. The anarchs watched from the edges, rebels and survivors, hungry for freedom from ancient hands. They wanted a city without chains, but freedom always demanded blood before it gave anything back. The Sabbat waited in the dark like a wound that refused to close, monsters in every way that mattered. They rejected humanity, worshipped the beast beneath the skin, and called atrocity enlightenment. The independents moved between them all, silent players, serpents, necromancers, assassins, scholars of death and corruption. Some dealt in secrets, others in souls, but none were harmless. And beyond them, watching from the mortal world, came the Second Inquisition, hunters with cameras, fire, algorithms, drones, prayers, and bullets. They knew something was hiding. The only question was how long the kindred could keep pretending they were still shadows. Each side had a reason. Each side believed it was right. But in Tucson, reason had begun to rot, and now, none of them were safe. Before the fall, fracture. Prince Leto Kaminsky did not die with a warning. There was no declaration, no siege, no courtly challenge beneath the old laws, no final speech worthy of the ruler he had been. Only silence. Then the abyss opened behind him. The air split without flame, without sound, without mercy. Darkness unfolded like a living thing, blacker than night, deeper than shadow, a wound in the room itself. From it emerged a young woman, pale, silent, barely breathing. Fae Pierce. She did not hesitate. Leto had only enough time to turn, enough time for recognition to almost become thought, enough time for ancient instinct to rise too late. Then Fae swung her blade. The strike was perfect. Not wild, not desperate, not human. The blade passed through him, and the Prince of Tucson became ash before his own court could hear him fall. For one impossible second, the room held its breath. Ash drifted where power had stood. Fae stood among it, trembling, the weapon still in her hand, her body soaked in exhaustion from the power it had taken to open the portal. The abyss behind her flickered, unstable, hungry, already beginning to close. She reached for it, tried to command it, tried to open the way back. Nothing answered. The cost had been too high. She had spent too much blood, too much will, too much of herself. Delilah had prepared her for the strike, for the obedience, for the beautiful cruelty of the mission, but no one had taught her how to return. For the first time that night, Fae understood. She had not been sent as an assassin. She had been sent as a sacrifice. The portal collapsed, and she was alone in the prince's domain. Fae moved. She slipped from the office before the first scream rose from the halls. Her body folded into darkness, instinct carrying her where training ended. Corridors bent around her. Security lights flickered. The estate stirred awake too late. But blood has limits. Even the somber shadows cannot carry an empty body forever. By the time she reached the garden, her steps had become uneven. The desert air touched her skin. Freedom was close enough to taste. The wall was ahead. Beyond it, the city. Beyond that, the chance to vanish. Then something struck her, precise, brutal, invisible until impact. Fae hit the ground hard enough to lose the sky. She tried to rise, tried to fight, tried to find the shape of whatever had broken through her defenses, but she saw nothing, only the sensation of being watched by something older than fear. Then the second blow came, and the night went black. Aila Nazari stood over the young La Sombra with no expression on her face. To another kindred, Fae might have looked like a girl. To Aila, she was a breach, an intrusion. A clan that did not belong inside Camarilla walls. There were no La Sombra in Leto's house. No shadows permitted so close to the prince. No unknown blood moving freely through protected grounds, unless it had been sent, placed, or planted. Aila knew clans by scent, by silence, by the old instinct of a predator who had survived empires. This one was Sabak-touched, young, dangerous, useful. She did not kill her, not yet. Aila dragged Fae below the estate under the cold conviction that the girl had been sent to spy, perhaps to prepare something worse. She stripped her of advantage, secured her, and locked her away where no shadow could easily answer her call. Then the house changed. It began as a pressure in the walls, a disturbance. Footsteps sharpened, voices broke. Security moved without pattern. Panic, raw and undisciplined, spread through the estate like blood in water. Aila stopped, listened. Then she heard it. The prince. A pause, a breath too frightened to finish. The prince has been assassinated. For a moment, nothing in Aila moved. Then she turned toward Leto's office. She knew that path too well. She had walked it as eye-dependent kindred collaborating with Camarilla, as ally, as weapon, as lover. Centuries had taught Aila Nazari how to survive grief. She had been embraced in Anatolia before the rise of the Ottoman Empire. She had learned obedience before she learned freedom. She had killed through dynasties, revolutions, and wars that swallowed nations whole. She had fought in the First World War, then the Second, and in the first, amid mud, smoke, and the obscene machinery of mortal death, she had met Leto Kaminsky. He had not saved her. That was not why she remembered him. He had seen her. Not as a blade, not as a curse, not as a thing to aim at an enemy, but as something wounded that had not yet surrendered to becoming only monstrous. They became lovers in the language of war, survival, silence, shared blood, and night stolen between ruin. Their paths drifted with time, as all immortal things do. Duty separated them. Pride hardened them. History made strangers of what passion had once made intimate. But Leto remained something no one else did, a reminder, a witness. One of the last fragile threads tying Aila to the idea that she was still capable of restraint. When she entered his office, the ash was still there, scattered across the floor, across the desk, across the place where he had stood. Aila did not scream. She did not weep. She did not collapse. Something far worse happened. She became still. Inside her, something ancient opened its eyes. A hunger older than grief, a discipline sharpened into cruelty, a violence she had spent centuries forcing into cages of law, ritual, prayer, and purpose. The room smelled of ash, of shadow, of death, and all Aila could think of was the girl locked beneath the estate, the La Sombra, the intruder, the only living answer left within reach. Aila turned from the ashes of the prince she had loved and walked back into the dark. Not to question Fae Pierce, not yet. First, She needed something to survive the grief, and rage had always been the easiest thing to hold.